I want to ask, how many of you have kids? Hands up. Okay, how many of you have employees? Hands up. How many of you have customers? Hands up. I tell my kids this, it's all about the mindset. And I realized, I got 2 kids, I got about 140 employees, and I tell them it's about intentionality. So it's all about the mindset. And I was thinking as we put this together, that this is also all about the mindset, really. So we're a content management platform based out of San Francisco. I'm originally Norwegian. And I'm going to talk about content, but it's really about mindset. And I hope we get that across today. So we live in an interesting time. You could be anywhere and do anything. Last summer, this was my office for 8 weeks, running a relatively global company out of the fjords of Norway. You could learn languages, you could get full degrees on the run from anywhere you want to be. You could buy things from anywhere you want to be. True story, our CMO bought her Tesla while driving a Tesla on the highway. Well, she was sitting next to the person driving the Tesla. And you can get all these new experiences. This is,
press down.
I need to press down. Not with me. Froze. At least I didn't freeze. Okay, I'll keep on talking while you look at that. So, and we can experience all these new experiences from anywhere. Like imagine with the new Apple goggles, you could see museum experiences from in your home living room. Now, one of our customers is Museum Modern Art, and apparently I had lunch with the director of digital there, and that's not coming just yet. But these are the kinds of things that we can do with all this new technology that is coming. And we live in a time where information and channels are becoming abundant. There are dozens of channels. There are thousands of situations you can reach your customers. There are so many different ways you can speak to your customer in situations. And AI makes it amazing for us to make a lot of more content. Indefinite amount of content. But the problem becomes, can we truly be present? And as a brand, that's really what it's all about. Can you really be present and tell the right thing to the right customer at the right time? At Sanity, we think of presence as a three-folded thing. You need to understand the journey of your customer. That's a part of it. Imagine there's a triangle slide here. You have the journey of your customer. Then you have the data of your customers so you understand where they are. And we've been pretty obsessed with that. For years, we've been talking about channels, omni-channel. It's a very bullshit word in my opinion, because it really just means that we're doing many channels, but we're not really understanding. We're not really being present. Because we've forgotten one thing, and that's the third element, and that is the content. Yes, we make a lot of content. A lot of that content is also great. But is it truly adapted to the situation and with the voice that you want to meet your customers in? We make thousands of landing pages. They all look different. We make thousands of different campaigns, but they all talk differently to your customers. That is the real problem. So what we think of, amazing, is it working? Yeah, there we go. This is a triangle. And this is what we have forgotten, the content. Because we've been working with tools that has put us in the wrong mindset, that haven't supported us. We had all these old CMSs that lock in your content. The Workplace, they lock it into HTML. That's maybe 20 years ago. And then we had all these DXPs and monoliths, and they really lock you into a page. Who cares about a page? And these new technologies, headless CMSs, they lock you into a schema. Somebody tells you how you're going to put in your business logic to communicate with your customers. Then your content becomes unreadable, unshareable, unparsable, and unusable. So when you think about content, you need to lift up from the channels, from the pages, and from the schemas. Forget about them. They're there. But what you really need to think about is, can you truly be present with your customers? And again, in the situation they're in. We call that the content fabric. And the point of the content fabric is the mindset of content. What are you saying to customers when? And in order to do that, you have to make all your teams work together. You have to make them share the content and the stories. And you have to present your business as a single pane of glass, whether you're on TikTok, on your website, because most stuff is still on the website, but there's so many aspects of your website. Content fabric is really about giving you collaboration and speed in your teams. And when you look at that, of course, you need the tools, and we're a great tool to do that. But it's still a mindset because you're making content strategic. You're letting the creative initiatives like the boss button be made instead of IT saying, no, we can't do that because our tools. It's a mindset thing. You need the right people in the right structure supported by the right tools. And if you do that, you can have content that becomes indefinitely scalable by treating content as data. Tecovas does this really well. You could get content workflows that becomes indefinitely adaptable to how you want to work in your business logic. Tecovas does that really well. And then you can make your content, we say API everything, connect your data sources and all the presentation layers you want, so you have a single source of truth for your content. Tecovas is really good at that. So why don't we rather hear from Kevin how they actually go about this? Do you want slides?
I mean, I'm going to have to go without them. So let's see if I can remember all the ways we're going to work through the slides.
You will.
Appreciate that. I'm excited today to share a little bit of what we're doing under the hood from a tech stack perspective at Tecovas. For those who don't know Tecovas, we're an Austin-based brand. We got started in 2015 as a direct-to-consumer brand. We've gotten into retail since then. We've now got 33 retail stores across the country and looking to expand that footprint even more this year. We're a Western footwear and apparel brand. And if you haven't been, we've got a store right up South Congress. So when you're done today, maybe go check it out. We have an open bar in all of our retail stores. So
go again. You want
great place to go. Is it going to work again? We'll find out. So that's Tecovas. We're based in Austin, Austin-based brand. I started at Tecovas in December of 2022. So I've been there for a little bit more than a year now. And my vision for our e-commerce team is to build out a best-in-class stack that allows the business to scale, but also allows the people on the team to be more strategic moving forward and provide more and more ROI on the systems that we're working on top of. I had a few challenges that were very obvious to me out of the gate. First, we had a pretty difficult experience to edit and make changes to our existing website. It had been basically a 6-year taped together Shopify website that debt had just kind of accumulated over time of moving fast and growing a business, which is great. You want to be able to do that, but at some point that starts to become a little bit of a weight around your neck in order to be able to move quickly. And we had no CMS. We had a merchant team that basically had to apply products or tags and meta fields to drive website behavior, and you just kind of had to know in your head, how do you do that? Someone has to know how to do it. It would have been written down in many cases. And so, a very nimble way to get moving. But as we continue to scale, really slowed us down to be able to move forward with our content. Our tech stack was siloed. We didn't have good integrations from our ERP to our website. It was very manual to launch products. We had people on our team manually keying data into different fields into Shopify just to launch product. And as you know, we're managing over 15,000 SKUs at this point. That becomes unattainable for our team. And then we really didn't have any in-house technical expertise. We had brought on an agency to help manage the website over the years. Any changes, custom home pages, custom landing pages required change orders and time to work with that agency. It had to be very ahead of the campaign before we could actually bring it to life. And so that really led to a lot of, we can't do that, or it's going to take too long to do that. That was a lot of answers that the team was giving internally when we were asked to do something more creatively on the website moving forward. And so I was very keen on kind of changing our mindset there. How do we leverage a small team? Our team's not going to get much bigger. How do we actually find a way to make the team members we have more strategic? How can we easily reuse some of that great content we have so that we can get more unique experiences with that content moving forward. How can we automate these systems together? I very much want our technology team to be answering, should we do that? Not we can't do that, because that really like puts it back on, are we thinking about working on the things that are going to drive the highest ROI for the business? I want the technology that we're using to be technology that engineers are interested and want to work on, so that it's a place that we can attract some good talent. And then it's very important to me to drive cross-team collaboration. And I don't want silos and walls between the different teams that are working together to bring these experiences to life. So turns out that over the last year plus, it's actually been a really good time to be thinking about those questions at a little bit deeper level. There's been some technology developments across a few fronts that allow small teams to really start to make some very interesting deployments of content and websites on top of some of that great infrastructure that a lot of us already use today. So late in 2022, Shopify's headless infrastructure, which is called Hydrogen, that really reached a maturity point to be a viable solution for companies who want to have more control over their digital experience moving forward. That included the acquisition of Remix, which is a technology framework that web engineers want to work in. It allows them to just focus on building really great UI and get a lot of the other boilerplate infrastructure out of the way. And Sanity had just recently released version 3 of their product, which has a lot of direct native integration with some of the Hydrogen tools. And it was a really great solution for us to be looking at, because coming from no CMS, no content system, to a completely scalable system that we are in complete control of our destiny there, it just really lined up well from a timing perspective. All these tools, like I said, really reached that maturity point by the end of 2022. And we started a journey of rebuilding our entire digital infrastructure in March of 2023. And we launched all of that in October of 2023. So it's about a 5.5-month build for us with a very small team to bring a completely headless site online. What that looks like, high level, we've got NetSuite as our ERP. There's probably some other customers in here using NetSuite that serves as our source of truth for transactions and some basic item data. We've got a automation now where that data is pushed upstream to Sanity, so that when we go to launch products, my merchant team is no longer having to manually pull data from system to system and verify it and make sure it's working right. They just press a button and product is imported immediately, and they're ready to start using that content directly in Sanity. Obviously, that then connects to our Shopify Hydrogen layer with Remix built on top of it. And then we're able to use other Shopify tools that are still out there. So we use Rebuy for recommendation personalization, and that plugs in very well with our Hydrogen infrastructure. So we've built out a stack that are off-the-shelf puzzle pieces that we then come in and customize the top of and are allowed to focus directly on the problems we're trying to solve at Tecovas. So one thing I want you to not underestimate here is what it looks like when you actually start managing structured content in a CMS environment like we've done with Sanity. First off, we really think of content as data itself. So our site merchants and our engineers work together to actually build specific schemas that we need for our features on our website. Part of our rebuild was we designed, I want to say, 15 different types of creative modules that we can use to stack on our homepage in any order with different layout attributes that can be applied to each module. Those modules are reusable pieces of content that we can also deploy to landing pages and PDPs and collection pages. And so now all that great marketing content that we have, where our site merchants are able to quickly put those into different places without having to manually rebuild a liquid page or figure out how to cut an asset in a different dimension to make it fit right on how that's going to lay out on a certain page. And so they're able to just work more quickly as a result of content just being reusable. We also took the time to sit down and understand the processes that our site merchants were working through and build custom workflows where it was necessary to help get them out of the weeds of managing those workflows, have systems do that for them to where they can focus on strategic conversion rate analysis of the site and what content's performing well and what content's not performing well. What collections do they want to reorder? They're able to spend 90% of their time on that side of the problem rather than 50-50 just trying to keep the lights on of what a website management looks like. And then lastly, because of the way we have structured content now in Sanity, my engineering team is able to work directly with that as basically their own super custom API, so that anytime we want to build a new feature on our website, we're able to define that API contract directly, get the exact content we need, and then we're able to populate that on the website. And we're able to move incredibly quickly with that foundation. We took the opportunity here when you want to go rebuild your website from scratch. There's a lot of details to get right when you actually think about what a website is today. And we put everything up on a board and started to think about what are the things that we want to bring control to our site merchants directly without having to have engineers and our tech team involved to make changes on that front. And so we isolated some things in this big word cloud, pulled these into Sanity, and now we have the ability to have much more customized SEO performance, navigation. Our dynamic shop all filter system is awesome. I wish the whole talk was on that, to be honest, but we'll have to talk about that later tonight during the happy hour if someone wants to hear that. But it really was important for our site merchants and our designers and our engineers to all be thinking about these problems together so that we're not solutioning them in a silo and not kind of missing the mark on how we actually want these to work on a day-to-day basis. What that looks like in practice, we've got all kinds of fun things that are now available on our website. Like I said, our site merchants are able to completely control our homepage now with 15 different modules with different layout attributes that they can control the actual order of those on a day-to-day basis. We're starting to think about, well, let's have a homepage for a new visitor and a homepage for a returning men's cowboy boot buyer and a returning apparel buyer and someone in New York versus someone in Texas. And we're able to then structure all that content and serve that based on what we think may be best for the customer there. We've got an awesome filtering system. I can't really go into detail with the minutes we have left, so you'll just have to trust me on that one. And then we also, by going headless, you have the opportunity to really think about site speed and ADA and a few other metrics that impact SEO and overall web performance, and we're in full control of those now. So we're able to tweak those and bring those in line with what we're looking for. A couple other interesting callouts here. We're reusing content across different interfaces. Here you can see we've got this large image here, and we've got a small image there. I'm going to quickly jump one more slide just to kind of see how that works. Within Sanity, we're able to upload full resolution images at their full width and height. And my content team has been able to reuse that image across different places on the site, choose hotspot and crop angles of that image, and then get live dynamic previews how those images are shaped across different responsive forms on the website. And so they no longer have to worry about ever cutting an image to size for a specific layout. That's all handled automatically for them, where they only have to add one asset to the back end, and then they're able to use it wherever they want to. They never have to add it again or cut it in a slightly different way and add it again. And so it just allows them to start working more and more and more quickly as they move through the site experience. We're able to, like this top left example, we wanted to start introducing some story content into some of our collection pages. We were able to add that feature in one day with our current deployment. So we've got that great picture of the Annie there in the third spot. We wanted to tell some more storying on one of our discount collections. We wanted to go for a super wide story that leads the collection right there. So you see that discounted prices. We've got video content that we're managing in there. So
you have a boss button?
A boss button?
Yeah.
I don't even know
what the boss button. We heard about it earlier. Like
if
you're shopping and your boss comes by, and then you click the boss button, and it takes you back to Excel or Word or whatever you were working.
It wouldn't be
you
hard.
could add that. That would be quick. It's a question of do you need, not can you, should we, right?
This is the question.
Exactly.
It's really transformed how our merchants operate on a day-to-day basis. And I want to call out that. Wow, this slide did not import correctly. Look at that. There's some stuff behind the image there that you cannot see. The key to success, you can't read any of it.
You see the rocket, though. It's great. We need to talk to this designer.
It didn't come through. In my opinion, the key to success here for our team was we don't have a huge team. It's a small team that we have working together. And I very much wanted to ensure from the beginning that we had our engineers, our site merchants, our designers together as one team. They understood, they took the time to understand each other's work. How do these site merchants work today? site merchants took the time to start to understand how technology might be able to help them in their processes. We're able to put smart people in a room, talk about their problems, and figure out how to automate that best for them and allow them to become more strategic. And we very much have one team that's operating our website, and it consists of engineers, site merchants, and designers. It is not separate verticals with walls in between them where they've got to pass around requirements and change orders and docs. Like, we've eliminated all of that. They are one team working together with one goal on improving our overall digital experience for our website. And we've got a lot more to do. Our backlog is absolutely massive. You said omnichannel is a little bit of a bullshit word, I think, earlier. With our retail fleet, retail is a huge strength of ours, and we're looking for interesting ways to bring that bullshit omnichannel word experience more to the website. And I mentioned earlier, we've got an open bar. Like, I'm thinking about ideas like if you order a BOPUS order online, also have a little drop down to, you want a drink ready for you when you go to pick it up. We've got boot shine
That's
services.
what omnichannel should be, right? That's
exactly.
not the historic use of the word. Right. It's like, we also do have an app.
Yeah,
that's omnichannel historically.
Yeah, we've got boot shine services that we offer in all the stores. So how do we build like a recurring model where we're reminding those people that, hey, it might be time for a boot shine. Come by the store tomorrow. Schedule time for them. What kind of drink do you want ready?
Exactly.
Show up.
And it would mostly be on your website anyhow. Most of these kind of interactions are somehow in a web interface.
That's right.
That's where kind of the omnichannel was totally wrong, I think.
Yep. So I could talk for hours on this. There's a ton of detail here in terms of details of that strategy.
I can subscribe to it. It continues to be interesting for hours when I talk to you.
Yeah. I'll be around later if anybody wants to dig into more details on that front. Happy to do it. I know we've got
we got time for a couple of questions, and I think one of the things I could start with one I think may be relevant, because of course some of you run larger brands and some of you run smaller brands, and for a larger brand I would say there's no brainer, and we work with companies like Skim and Arterix and Sonos and of course Tecovas. But question I would have, if you're a smaller brand, now this is a mindset. You still need tools, you still need team. When do you start to do this? What are the signs you should look for on when? Because if you're very small, you shouldn't do all these things, right? That would be very expensive, and you shouldn't focus on that. But what should you look for, and when should you start thinking in this direction and get this mindset into your business?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think that you need to take a look at your team and what are they doing on a daily basis? Are they barely keeping the lights on? Are there strategic things you want them to be doing but they can't do because they're just hamstrung by the processes they're having to do on a daily basis to keep the lights on moving forward? Tecovas is a huge successful brand. We're doing great. We made it with a pretty terrible infrastructure for a long time. And so like that speaks volumes, I think, to the capabilities that are out there today with SaaS platforms just off the shelf. You're able to grow to 9-figure revenue without doing huge investments in making all of these things work better together. But at some point, as you scale, you will need to say, maybe now's the time to unwind a little bit of this problem and streamline for the next stage of this company. How do we get to the next digit in our revenue targets? And that requires working smarter, not working harder on a few things. And that just comes with the territory of then bringing a team in to help try to figure out how to pull those pieces together.
Yeah, so look for when you're not being strategic, when you're doing churn.
Yeah.
And Kevin has the same stack as Puma and Sonos. So of course he's playing at a big level. But you could also use these sort of things. Sanity could integrate with Liquid, but you could also do some of these things without using Sanity. This is about a mindset of how you think about consistency and speed and how you communicate with your customers, I think, more than anything else.
Yeah. And obviously I'm up here with Magnus. He's the CEO of Sanity. I want to say, working with Sanity over the last year, they've been an incredible partner for us in helping to figure out how to structure some of our content moving forward. I can't say enough great things about them as a partner. There's a lot of technology SaaS companies out there that during the sales process, they're going to promise a lot of things. And then when you get into implementation or even when you get live, it's like, oh, well, it doesn't do that. And it doesn't do that. No, that's not exactly what I heard during the sales process.
Thank you. This wasn't on the script.
I'm off script. I'm off script at this point. I haven't had any of that experience. I think it's an incredibly solid tool. And the fact that it is so customizable, it's back to my original question of, we're not saying we can't do that. It's not in our vocabulary. We can we can do anything at this point with the tools that we now have in place. And so it is
Do
more
the boss button.
but that also can be a little bit, you can do anything, so just do it. And it's like, well, you don't want to go down that route either, because then you start wasting time on things that maybe don't matter. So that's.
Thank you. That was not on the script.
Yeah.
What, 1 or 2 questions for Kevin, or for me, of course, but.
What are you manifesting? That's my question. That's the whole theme of today is what is on your goal list? And then does anyone else want to, in the meantime?
What Tecovas want to manifest?
Either one of you, both of you.
Yeah, we're also a brand. We actually don't spend a lot on ads. We have had about 500,000 sign up, mostly developers, because we're a developer-centric tool that enables brands. Mostly SEO, so we care a lot about content ourselves. And what we try to manifest that is really hard to stand out in our industry is this content is data. Is that you have to think about reusability and not just churn it out, because you're going to wear out your customers and you're not going to be able to get the same effect. That's what we've been trying to manifest with our content. How about you, Kevin?
Day to day, I'm thinking about all kinds of different things. I think omni-channel bullshit word again. I'm going to keep saying it that way. That's an area that I'm really focused on right now. I'm spending a lot of time thinking about how can we make that an extremely valuable experience for our customers. So that's where a lot of my thoughts are on a day-to-day basis right now.
Quick question for you. Does any of the technology that you're using help you manage rights, images, whether they're shot on site models versus ambassadors?
That's a really good question. Right now, we are not using Sanity specifically to manage rights. We don't have a digital asset manager platform, a DAM, depending on how you. But that's a really interesting question, because I'm already thinking I could add 4 or 5 fields to how I'm already managing it in Sanity, and all of a sudden that's turning into a rights management process right out of the gate. We have a third-party platform for managing social content for rights. That the name escapes
You normally
me.
need like a DAM, like Cloudinary or Binder or something like that.
Yeah.
You